Pasok, Marcoleta.
Distinguished colleagues, I rise on a matter of personal and collective privilege, one that strikes at the very heart of public accountability, the integrity of our institutions, and the trust reposed upon us by the Filipino people. On September 25, 2025, former Speaker Martin Romualdez was implicated in the flood control scandal after retired Marine Sergeant Orly Gutesa testified during the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee hearing that the lawmaker is a leading figure in this scandal. Gutesa alleged that, as a security aide to former Congressman Saldico, he was tasked to carry and deliver suitcases containing basura, a hideous term they used for files of cash, approximately amounting to 48 million pesos each. He recounted that on one occasion, they brought up 35 suitcases for delivery to a residence identified as that of Martin Romualdez at 40 McKinley Street, Taguig. For 7 months since he was implicated by Gutesa, the former speaker remained silent. Only now has he spoken through a video statement dated April 21, 2026, where he finally addressed the allegations surrounding what is now one of the largest systemic looting of the national treasury in our nation's history, the flood control scandal. Ngunit imbes na maliwanagan ang taong bayan, ang kanyang mga pahayag ay lalong nagbunga ng mas maraming tanong kaysa sagot, Ginoong Pangulo. At first glance, the statement appears to be a defense grounded in law, process, and institutional structure. But upon closer examination, Mr. President, this is not a clarification but a calculated narrative. And it is our duty as members of this chamber to dissect this narrative, expose its inconsistencies, and ensure that the truth is not buried beneath rhetoric. His justification for his prolonged silence, an alleged act of respect for the legal process. But lest we forget, this is the same individual who declined the invitation to appear before the Senate to answer questions under oath. The same individual bestowed upon the inter-parliamentary courtesy by the chairman of the Blue Ribbon Committee. Let us be clear. Respect for the legal process is not measured by selective participation. It is demonstrated through full and transparent cooperation, especially when public funds and national interests are at stake. Silence and inaction become complicity. He further claimed that he has cooperated with the Independent Commission for Infrastructure, or ICI, submitting affidavits and documents. But this alleged cooperation was done behind closed doors, without public scrutiny and without any verifiable records accessible to the Filipino people. Until now, when he conveniently authorizes its release. Why only now? Why at a time when the narrative is tightening, when testimonies are emerging, and when key personalities are poised to enter the jurisdiction of our laws? Mr. President, timing is everything. And in this case, timing speaks volumes. Let us now address the core of his defense, the claim that he cannot be the mastermind because the budget process is collective, multi-layered, and shared across branches of the government. The former speaker asked, how can I be the mastermind? That the question itself is revealing. By contesting only the label of being the mastermind, he implicitly concedes that he was part of the very system he enabled, the corruption in flood control projects. He deliberately tried to downplay the role of leadership within that process. The issue then is no longer whether wrongdoing was committed, but the extent of his role in allowing it. Mr. President, those of us who walk through the halls of Congress know this. Nothing moves in the House without the imprimatur of his leadership. The Speaker of the House is not a ceremonial figure. He is not a just passive participant. He is the central authority who controls the legislative agenda, influences committee outputs, and ultimately determines what reaches the plenary. To say that the Speaker is merely one voice among many is to paint a picture of the House that is devoid of reality. Mr. President, alam po nating lahat ang kalakaran sa Kongreso. Nasa kamay ng liderato ang kumpas na magpapasulong sa anumang inisyatibo. By asking how he can be the mastermind, the former Speaker hid behind the complexity of bureaucracy. He repeatedly and thoroughly discussed the entire budget process while also passing the blame to the executive in line with its oversight on implementation and in line with the principle of command responsibility. But, Mr. President, the records of previous congressional and Senate hearings can attest to the fact that corruption does exist within the entire budget process, from budget planning by the executive to budget deliberation by Congress to implementation by the agencies and down to the final scrutiny by the Commission on Audit. To be more specific, while the executive submits the budget proposal, the House leadership decides which amendments are made during the bicameral conference. This is
Kasi ito mga bossing. Ito yung sinasabi ni Marcoleta. Itinuturo ni Romualdez si Chis Escudero. Ilang lang naman. Sa 2025 lang naman naging Senate President si Chis Escudero. Etong si Martin Romualdez, Speaker of the House siya from 2022 hanggang 2025. Taon niya Si Zaldico from 2022 to 2025. Si Kimbo from 2020, yung ano na, nung umalis na si, ano, nung tinanggal na si Zaldico. So, ang ang corruption sa Pilipinas nag-start nung 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025 budget. O sabihin na natin, 2023, 2024, 2025. So, 3 years. Yung 3 years na yun, si Romualdez, si Bongbong, at saka si Zaldico ang may hawak ng budget. Di ba? Sinabi nga ni Inday Sara sa kanyang unang-unang interview o unang-unang revelasyon na 2 tao lang ang may hawak ng budget. Hindi naman sinabi ni Inday Sara doon sa kanyang revelasyon na pati senador. Kasi ang senador, katulad yan si Chis Escudero, wala siyang magagawa eh. Kasi mag-isa lang siya. Bakit? 2 presidente, tsaka yung pinsan eh. Yung presidente pipirma, yung pinsan yung gumawa ng budget. So kung si Chis Escudero bilang isang Senate President na alam naman natin na nung mga panahon na yun piniplease si Lisa, ginawa nga tagahawak ni Lisa ng baso eh. Wala nga respeto si Lisa, si Lisa ginawa niyang tagahawak ng baso, Senate President eh. So he's also trying to please itong magpinsan na magnanakaw na to. So sinisisi nilalaglag ni Martin Romualdez si Chis Escudero. Isang taon man lang naging Senate President si Chis Escudero. Saglit nga lang, natanggal siya kagad ni Tito Soto eh. Si Mig Zubiri naman, yung Senate President eh, since 2023, 2024, 2025 budget eh. O sabihin na natin, 2023 and 2024 budget, si Mig Zubiri yung dyan eh, Senate President eh. Pero ganoon eh, si Mig Zubiri, may magagawa ba si Mig Zubiri? Nag-iisa lang siya. Tatlo yung magkakakampi, si Romualdez, si Zaldico at saka si BBM. So kahit tumanggi si Mig Zubiri, matatanggal siya sa posisyon niya kasi nga kung tatanggi siya dun sa gustong sindikato ng pagnanakaw nitong tatlong to, kawawa rin siya. Baka mamaya kasuhan pa siya, baka mamaya siraan pa siya kasi ganun ang ginagawa nila eh. So sinasabi ko ba na si Mig Zubiri may kasalanan din? Pwedeng wala. Itong tatlo lang na ito talaga, si Romualdez, si Zaldico at saka yan si Bongbong Marcos talaga. 2020, 3 taon na Speaker of the House at saka Appropriations Committee Chairman yan si Zaldico. 3 taon na ang pumipirma ng budget si Bongbong Marcos. Mas matindi daw ang corruption nung 2024 kaysa 2025. Nung 2025, doon lumabas yung mga nasirang mga flood control at saka yung mga baha, mga bagyo. Kaya na-expose yung flood control. Pero nung 2024, mas malaki daw yung perang ninakaw. Sinong nun? Senate President nun? Sinong nun? Sinong Speaker of the House nun? Sinong Appropriations Chairman nun? Sino ang pumirma nung budget nun? Di ba silang 3 lang? Kaya itong mga senador. Kasi nga dahil nga sikat ang senador, dahil buong Pilipinas ang constituency nila, gusto nila ilaglag yung mga senador kasi nga mas maraming halimbawa kung ilaglag ko si Stella Kimbo, wala mang pakialam yung mga taga Mindanao kay Stella Kimbo. Hindi naman nila yan kandidato. Pero itong mga senador na ito, kandidato ito sa buong Pilipinas. So paano na? Ganun ang ginagawa ng mga yan.
Where the real flood control happens, not in the control of rivers, but in the diversion of funds. Sir, the Speaker's defense further falls apart the moment he passes the buck to the former Senate President Chis Escudero. Senator Escudero led this chamber from May 2024 to September 2025, thereby overseeing the Senate budget deliberations for only the 2025 national budget. Romualdez, on the other hand, served as the House Speaker from July 2022 to September 2025, overseeing the full cycle of 3 national budgets, 2023, 2024, and 2025. Mr. President, the former Speaker also issued a statement that should deeply concern this institution and the entire nation. He declared that he will not go alone and that he knows many things about the current and the past administrations. What does this mean? This is not only a tacit admission that he is part of the whole mess, but also his preparedness to drag all others involved with him. Para bang sinabi niya na kung babagsak man siya, Ginoong Pangulo, hindi siya papayag na siya lang ang mag-isa. Hihilahin din niya ang iba pababa kasama niya. Is this a veiled threat, Mr. President? Is this an admission of knowledge of broader wrongdoing? Or is this an attempt to leverage information as a shield against accountability? If he indeed has knowledge that could implicate others, then he has a duty, not a choice, to disclose it fully and immediately. Truth is not a bargaining chip, Mr. President. It is an obligation owed to the Filipino people. Mr. President, let us not be distracted by narratives of victimhood or claims of political persecution. The issue before us is simple. Public funds intended for flood control, funds meant to protect lives, livelihoods, and communities have been misused, diverted, or rendered ineffective through systemic anomalies. If you create, or worse, deliberately tolerate, as the Speaker, an environment where anomalies are allowed to fester and flourish, where corruption becomes blatant and normalized, then you are not merely complicit. You can be also a mastermind. If you appoint a committee chair who not only overlook the red flags, but also helps facilitate widespread corruption, you are answerable. You cannot invoke command responsibility in other departments, yet isolate yourself from the doings of your own chamber. If you preside over a system or questionable allocations persist year after year, you are accountable. Mr. President, accountability cannot be selective. It cannot be convenient. And it certainly cannot be avoided through technicalities nor rhetoric maneuverings. The Filipino people are watching. They are demanding answers, and they deserve nothing less than the full truth. Ang sabi po nila, Ginoong Pangulo, huwag ninyo kaming linlangin. Huwag ninyo kaming paikutin. Ang katahimikan at pagbulag-bulagan ay hindi kawalang kaalaman, bagkus ito'y pakikiisa sa katiwalian. Kapag pikit mata o tikom bibig, ninyong hinayaang mag-ugat at mamayagpag ang anomalya, hindi po iyon inosenteng pagkukulang, kabilang na kayo sa sistemang nagbibigay daan sa paglaganap nito. Mr. President.
Yun. Lupit talaga. Oh, totoo naman yung mga pinagsasasabi niya rito. Dapat ang ombudsman, ang Senado, dapat hindi na pinapalagpas ito, mga pagkakataon na ito, di ba?
Yan ang panatero, walang inuurungan. Pag tama palakpakan, pag mali ay babana.